Participate, in a game like this against a great program like Virginia Tech. Their players really played hard, deserve a lot of credit in this game. Defensively, they're one of the toughest groups that we played against, and they certainly did a great job against us, tonight. We have to create an identity as a team. I don't think that we did that maybe in all phases of the game, today. But at least we know where we are. We know what we need to do to improve. I feel like, we have a lot of players on our team that did a lot of good things, and we have some players that probably could do a little better, play with a little more consistency. And, I think our players also have to learn that you have to be a little more relentless as a competitor. You can't be satisfied with where you are. You got to work hard every day for the next challenge. We actually showed our team, Michael Jordan playing in the 1996 or 7, whatever his last championship was, where they're down by 3 with a minute to go to the game, and the guy makes every play in the game. Makes a shot, steals the ball, makes the next shot to win the game. And what did he have to prove? That was his 6th championship. The 3rd time they won 3 in a row. And this guy's playing at 35 years old like there's no tomorrow. And it was interesting, for a guy that had nothing to prove, he was out there playing like he had everything to prove. So that's what our team needs to do. That's what we need to do as a team, so that we can make the improvement that we need to make. We have a bye week coming up. Certainly we'll look at this film and make a lot of corrections. And if we're going to have a good football team, we're going to have to improve as a team. And that's certainly what we're going to be technical about in terms of how we approach our players and what they do.
It was easy to see the blocking in Christian's returns, but I thought coverage on special teams was good. Can you talk about all of it?
Special teams was great in this game. Cody did a good job punting. Kickoff coverage was really good. To get a kickoff return and a punt return both for touchdowns in a game is, outstanding. We had a couple other big plays that changed field position, in special teams. And the coverage was great. The number one goal in special teams is control vertical field position. And I thought that was a big part of this game tonight. Not only the return game, but also the good punts, the good coverage, the drive starts created by the kickoff coverage team, several inside the 20. Those things are huge advantages and, affects the offense in terms of what they can do.
Coach, Christian Jones last year, he had 30 attempts, whether it was kickoff or punt returns. He had 1 TD. Tonight, he just explodes. Is that something that you making a concentrated effort on to get him more opportunities in the return game? And is it something that you've worked on in the offseason? He just exploded tonight. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, I think that people take for granted that just because a guy has a lot of skill, that it doesn't take experience to be a good returner. I think it does. I think just the judgment of when to take the shot, as to catch the ball and run with it, when to make a fair catch. Last year was Christian's first time doing this stuff. And he had some opportunities last year, but he learned a lot from it. He's done a great job in the offseason. I think we have really good team speed, so we have a lot of guys that are good on special teams. And I think that's helpful. Some of them are young players, but they certainly did a good job tonight. And we want our return game to be a weapon for us, and it certainly was tonight.
Right here. Coach, what was their offensive line able to do, their defensive line able to do against your offensive line? It seemed like there were periods where they're really able to get your quarterback to kind of cause a lot of disturbance.
Well, they did. They moved on us up front. We whiffed a few times because they have good quickness. And, they overloaded aside and then would slant back. And they were running us down to the backside because we weren't getting them cut off. So they just kind of outplayed us up front, if you want to know the truth. Their 99 gave us a lot of problems in pass protection. Pushed the pocket. We were soft. We didn't have a solid pocket. Quarterback didn't feel comfortable. Timing in the passing game wasn't what it needs to be in terms of, how much time we had to throw it and how much time we had to get open. So those are the kind of things that I think we really need to improve on. But we didn't handle their pressure very well. We didn't handle their movement very well. And we didn't get much movement when they didn't move. So those things all add up to being not so good.
Coach, how did the competition tonight prepare you for A&M?
I'm sorry?
How did the competition tonight prepare you guys for
Well, I think playing a good opponent, makes your team realize what they need to do to improve. And I don't think there's anybody in our locker room that's satisfied with the way they played. They certainly appreciate the fact that we were able to win against a very good team, that we have a lot of respect for their program and the players and the way they played tonight. But I think everybody realizes that we need to improve. And I think when you play good opponents like this, it makes your players realize where they are, what they need to be committed to play to the standard that it's going to take for us to beat good teams in our league. And I think we learned that tonight.
Right over here.
Coach, it's much easier just to stay at home, schedule a game against an FCS team. This is your third trip to the Chick-fil-A kickoff game, and you're scheduled for next year. What is it about this game that makes it worth coming to Atlanta instead of just staying home and playing a probably easily beatable opponent?
Well, first of all, I think it helps prepare our team for playing in our league, which is very difficult, playing on the road in our league, which is very difficult. And I think when you play against a good team, sort of what I just said, it makes you realize what you have to do to play against the good teams in our league and how we need to improve. So, I think there's a lot of benefits to it. I think there's a lot of exposure that we get because we play in these games. I think playing in these games in 2008 and 2009 did as much to kickstart our program as anything that we ever did, because it was game day. In those days, it was the only game. So we got a tremendous amount of exposure. We played Clemson and Virginia Tech, who both had good teams and were ranked teams, and we were able to beat them both. And I really think that, that helped kickstart, our program to become what it's become.
Okay, over here on the side.
You guys had several new guys in there tonight. Can you assess how some of those freshmen did?
New guys where?
Some freshmen who played.
We had them all over the place.
Can you assess how some of them did tonight?
How about can you be more specific, like ask me about, if I started to go through every young guy that played tonight, everybody'd leave. Who you want to know about, I'll tell you about them. Anybody you want to talk about.
Yeah, so some of the guys in the offensive line.
Well, we've been talking about the offensive line, and we need to improve in the offensive line. But I don't even think the guys that had a lot of experience played as well as they need to play in the offensive line. I don't think that we're talking about the inexperienced guys not playing well. I think we're talking about the entire group realizing that they need to play a little bit better together, be a little more physical. We have too good of skill players not to give them more opportunities to make plays in the game. So I'm not going to single out young guys. I think the entire group needs to do a better job.
Right here in the middle.
What did you think of the defensive line's ability to put pressure on Logan Thomas, but also keep him contained in the pocket and not let him run too much?
I thought we did a really good job defensively, and they didn't do anything on offense that we practiced against. All right, so we knew that we didn't know how they would use their personnel. They ran a lot of option plays, a lot of two-back option plays. We hadn't practiced against it at all. We played against it before, and our players on defense did a fantastic job of adjusting in the game. And other than the 75, 77-yard run where we got out of position on a stunt, and the secondary didn't squeeze the ball properly, I thought the defense did a pretty good job all night, and we have a lot of respect for Logan Thomas, and got off the field on third down. I thought he played well. I thought he executed well. I think, they dropped a couple balls that probably hurt his stats, but I think the guy's a really good player.
All right, we're going to go back in the back.
Coach, can you talk specifically about your secondary? You guys held Logan Thomas to 59 yards passing. Did a very good job throughout the game when the ball was working on down the field.
Well, but I think there's a lot of things that we can improve on in the secondary as well. We've got some new players playing. I thought they played well and adjusted well in the game today, which I think is really critical. Jerry's never really played star before and did a really good job in the game. John Fulton did a good job in the game. Vinny did a nice job. So the whole group did a really nice job, of adjusting to the things that we had to adjust to in the game. But I think our players on defense kind of understand the system. They kind of believe in it. and they have enough, we have enough experience out there that they can adapt to things that we haven't played or practiced against. We'd have probably played more players if we had practiced against some of the stuff that they were doing, which was a good scheme.
All right, we've got time for one more. We'll go back in the back over here.
Performance of TJ Yeldon, just your thoughts on how he did tonight?
I thought he did well under the circumstances. He didn't have a lot of room to run. You know, but I thought he made good things happen. I thought he ran hard. I thought he was physical. He did miss a block once, and we got sacked because of it, and had an opportunity for a big play. So, you know, you can't put all this stuff on the offensive line. You know, it's really all about the offensive team all doing things the way they need to execute together, trust and believe in one another so that we can make this work. And it's going to take leadership. It's going to take people recommitting themselves. It's going to a standard that's going to help us improve and get better. And I'm sure we will do that. And TJ will too.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.